Ma'am, we are from Microsoft security team. We have all the information. Can't you understand?
Should have seen it coming.
Hi everyone, welcome to Planet Juju. I have a couple of scam phone call recordings later, but I'll just go through some other threats I've come across lately. Have you ever heard of the pig butchering scam? It's where someone online befriends you and then the conversation quickly turns to money, specifically investment, usually in the form of cryptocurrency. The scammers start by offering too good to be true returns on investment, and some even allow money to be withdrawn at first, but the long game relies on the victim's greed, and that money being invested back in for larger sums. The scam ends in administrative excuses as to why the money can't be paid back. The scammer disappears and people end up losing their life savings. I noticed a few Facebook profiles with these messages saying they've invested £800 and made a mind-blowing profit of £13,000 in less than 24 hours. It's clever. They've made what looks like a notification on a smartphone with a background image of the person the Facebook profile belongs to. Then they show what looks like their newly enriched bank account next to it. They make a show of thanking a fake profile that leads to the crypto scam. I don't know if they've been involved in the scam or just had their profiles hacked. These two are still friends with the fake profile scammer who works at this so-called company, the 100% legit trading investment company, which was set up in February 2024. 100% legit. Yeah, right. You might think £13,000 on £800 in 24 hours is a rainbow unicorn percentage, but one Canadian man, Sajid Ikram, in his report to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, was able to withdraw 33,000 Canadian dollars from his new cryptocurrency account. Then, after investing more into the platform, he lost nearly 400,000 Canadian dollars, including money he borrowed from friends. If you look closely though, the pictures of the bank accounts are all the same, so it's very unlikely all three of them have the same bank account. It probably came from someone who did get pig butchered. Lloyds Bank told me they can't discuss accounts with third parties and they're not able to stop people investing in crypto scams, but their systems can detect unusual activity and they will act on that. And one other thing, you should never show your account details online like this. You might have already heard of the Hello Mum text message scam, and I have a separate video on that. But my husband was targeted with this text, where the wording was slightly less specific and could draw in more people. In fact, he thought it was from my mum who'd changed her phone again, and he saved the number under her name in his contacts. He didn't reply, thankfully, but he did let me know about it when he arrived home from work, and we reversed his actions and reported and blocked the number. We later agreed how, if one hadn't got one's scam and sense switched on, one might forget that my mum wouldn't word a message that way. I had a succession of calls from this number that were blocked on my mobile. Who called me has marked it as a legitimate O2 number, but of course it could still be scammers spoofing the number. In any case, I don't talk to anyone who calls me saying they're from O2. If I want to talk to O2, I'll ring them. The attempts to log into my Microsoft account dwindled a bit in March, and mainly from the US, although they were probably using a VPN to change their virtual location. On the landline, well, first I'd like to introduce you to Franklin. He's ringing from a busy call centre which you can hear in the background during the call. It was going to be a scam, pretending to change my business line for a cheaper deal, but he fell at the first hurdle as he couldn't even tell me what business he was calling. But it seemed he didn't want to hang up and we had a battle of staying power. Let's see who won.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
Yes, hi. You're speaking to me. My name is Franklin, and we are calling you today in regarding to your business telephone line. Am I speaking to the owner of the business?
Which business was that you were after?
Which business, ma'am? That will be the Nicole Roofing, ma'am.
I think you have the wrong
Right.
number.
Why? It's not a business?
This is not Nicole Roofing, no.
Oh, right. So sorry to bother you today, ma'am. You have a lovely day, ma'am. So
Okay.
sorry, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
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 Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yes, bye, ma'am.
You can ring off now. Bye.
Yes, ma'am. You can hang up, ma'am. Thank you for your time, ma'am. You have a lovely day.
So can you. Thank you. Bye.
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 Ah.
He sounded very professional though, and was at least polite. Not so these next guys who were trying to pull a Microsoft tech support scam. James wound me up straight away with his first sentence, a condescending, "Can you hear me, dear?" like I'm an old biddy or something. Listen all the way through and see if you can spot the times that he tries to alarm me about foreigner hackers that he can see inside my computer. Of course he can't see them. The phrases he uses like, "then we can go ahead" and "we're here to help you," they're social engineering phrases. We all know he just wants to go ahead and help me get my money stolen.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me, dear?
I'm here.
Hi, it's James calling you from Microsoft regarding your computer. So, are you the main user of your computer?
I'm the only user of my computer.
Okay, so you have a mobile phone or a laptop, dear?
Neither. I've got a computer.
You haven't got a computer or laptop?
I've got a computer. It's not a laptop.
Okay, so ma'am, are you the main user of that computer, right?
I'm the only user.
Ma'am, reason behind this call is we have received some error and warning reports from your computer license ID number, and the report shows that your details has been compromised, ma'am. It has been hacked by some foreigner hackers. So we are from Microsoft security team. So that's why you are getting this call, ma'am. So can you be in front of your computer for a moment so we can show you the reports for your better understanding, ma'am?
Who's hacked me?
Yeah.
Who's hacked?
Can you be
Who's
in front
hacked?
of your computer,
Who's hacked me?
ma'am?
Who's hacked me?
Ma'am, the foreigner hackers, ma'am.
Foreign
We
hackers.
don't know where are they, and they have hacked your... Yes, ma'am. They have hacked your details, and that's why it's an emergency call. So that's why we are here to block that compromiser, ma'am, and give you some new securities so you won't ever face it again, okay? You be in front of your computer, ma'am. We will show you the reports for a better understanding, and then we will go ahead, okay?
Go ahead with what?
Okay, ma'am. So please, you be in front of your computer.
What did you want to go ahead with?
Ma'am, we will block that compromiser. They have hacked your details. They are doing illegal businesses.
What
And
detail?
we are here to help you.
Oh, okay.
Ma'am, whatever information you have in your computer, they have hacked details. So
How
that's why,
do you know?
ma'am,
You can't see in my computer
ma'am,
though, can you?
Ma'am, we are from Microsoft security team.
Oh,
We
where's
have all the information of your, ma'am, whatever happens in your computer, any error and warning thing, then we receive some notification, ma'am.
right?
Okay?
What's my
You be
name
in
then?
front of your computer, ma'am. You will... Okay.
What's my name then?
Okay, ma'am, you take your time. You be in front of your computer. Okay?
Tell me what my name is. He did have my surname and address, but we already know these have been scraped from the internet from a business directory and sold to scammers. So that's no surprise, but someone who didn't know there are people who could do this could fall for it.
Ma'am, we are a Microsoft authorized worker from security team. Can't you understand, ma'am?
No, you're not. You're
Ma'am, I
scammers.
told you again and again.
Did you hear that? He's lying about who he is and then saying, "Can't you understand?" And that he told me again and again. That's gaslighting, trying to make me question myself. When anyone says these phrases, that's a red flag. Then, because I'm calling him out as a scammer, he tries a CLSID scam on me. I know that one.
You're scammers.
Ma'am, no, ma'am, it's not scam call. For your verification, I can provide you your computer license ID number, okay? Every computer has their unique license ID number, and provide your computer license ID number. You pay
My
in front of your
computer license
computer,
number.
you fill the report.
Go on then.
Yes.
Let me write it down. Hang on a minute. I've got to get a pen. Okay. Tell me what the number is.
Ma'am, your license ID number is 888
888.
D for Delta, C for Charlie, A as an Alpha.
Say that again. D for demon.
Ma'am, DCA. After that, number 60,
C6.
F for Foxtrot, C for Charlie. Number 0, C as an Alpha.
Sorry, I've lost you.
1111. Yeah,
Is that-
1111. C for Charlie, F for Foxtrot. Ma'am, this is your CLS ID number, your computer license ID number, okay? Ma'am, now you'll be in front of your computer.
Can you say it? Can you say it again? Can you say it again? Because I just missed out. I've got something like F something, and then I for India, I for India, C for Charlie, F for Freddie.
Yeah, it's 888 D for Delta, C as in Charlie, A as in Alpha, number 60, F for Foxtrot, C for Charlie, number 0, 11, C for Charlie, F for Foxtrot. That's your license ID number, ma'am. So, have you written?
Oh, it's not. It's 11, is it? Not I for India, I for India.
Ma'am, it's 11CF. Ma'am, now you be in front of your computer, ma'am.
But that's my CLSID number.
Better understanding.
That's my CLSID number.
Your computer, your computer license ID number, okay? Now you be in front of your computer, ma'am.
But everybody's got that number.
CLSID doesn't stand for Computer License ID Number, it stands for Class Identifier. And that number has to do with the file association for zip files, ZF send to target, and the number is definitely not unique to any particular Windows system, it's universal. This scammer's so lazy he didn't even give me the whole number, unlike the scammer in the Halloween video I made. Of course, someone who didn't already know what they're up to could be fooled.
Ma'am, we are from Microsoft security team. We have all the information. Can't you understand? I told
Okay.
you again and again, we will show you the report. Ma'am.
You'll call me again and
In
again.
front of your computer. Ma'am, if you are not going to do that, then we have to block your computer. Your computer will be shut down, okay?
Okay, go on then.
Okay, he's using bullying tactics now. There's no way he can shut down my computer if I don't let him have remote access.
Ma'am, it will be okay for you. Your computer will never work after that, okay? It will be okay for you.
My computer will never work after what?
We are here. Ma'am, you don't have your computer at the moment.
Of course I do.
Yeah. So, ma'am, you go in front of your computer, ma'am. We will show you the reports. Then you will understand properly, okay?
Well, you could tell me what to do.
Are you in front of your computer at the moment, ma'am?
Yeah.
So what do you see on your screen?
Oh,
Ma'am, what do you see on...
I've got my video software up at the moment, the one that I use to create videos.
Ma'am, are you in your desktop, in your normal home screen, when you can see your regular icon?
Yeah, but I've got my video software up at the moment because I'm making a video on scammers.
Now, what do you told me?
You heard me.
Ma'am, wait for a moment. I will transfer this call to our senior technician. Now, they will help you to show the report.
Oh, okay. Didn't you want to hear your dulcet tones on a video?
Technicians are joining this call now, okay?
Oh, fine.
Hold for a second, okay? Hold on.
He couldn't cope with that, so he's passing me over to his scammer mate, Jason, in the call centre.
More than 1 second later.
Hello?
Hello, who are you?
Hello?
Hello, who are you?
Yes, you're talking to Jason now. I'm a technician. I'll be assisting you from here.
Jason who?
Is the computer on now?
Jason who?
Talking to the senior technician of Microsoft.
Oh, what's your surname?
And yes, is your computer on now?
What's your surname, Jason? Jason, what's your surname, Jason?
Oh, Lordy.
Just so I can write it down.
And then they had a discussion with each other. Google Translate picked up a couple of comments, so I got the gist that they'd decided I'd just be wasting their time if they carried on, and they rang off.
Hello?
तेरा टाइम वेस्ट कर देगा भाई तेरा तो कब से सुन रहा मैं मजा ले रहा है तेरा
I was assured by my Hindi-speaking friend that they weren't swearing, but if you can translate any of what they said, please leave me a comment. Let me assure you of one thing, Microsoft doesn't call people out of the blue like this. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon with the next episode of ScamWatch 2024.
Should have seen it coming.